Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're playing another Edge of Eternities Premier Draft, the brand new Space set. Without further ado, let's get into the pack. One, pick one, super clear one. Mega Balm Rare Board Wipe. If you cast this for 7 mana or more, you're going to blow up pretty much all the creatures and then put the best creature you just destroyed onto your board afterward, putting you way ahead. Excellent card. Happy to start with it. We got another black rare. Is this one any good though? 3 mana for a 2/3. You can tap it and return a creature from a graveyard to the battlefield. Make that creature a skeleton with no other types and no abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. I mean, 3 mana 2/3, but then tap, put a 3/1 on the board. Tap, put a 4/5 on the board in the late game. Feels super worth it. We're already definitely playing black. It does only return creatures from your graveyard. It isn't any graveyard, so we want some self-mill. We want expendable cheap creatures that end up in the graveyard. Any surveil would be good too. So cards like the 2 mana 3/2 that sacks a creature to surveil would be really good. We saw that in our pack 1, but obviously couldn't take that over our bomb rare. There's a lot, excuse me. There's a lot of combos we can try to do with that. So try to draft around that. But for now, we've got a really clear, really simple direction to go off of just double Great Black Rare. We'll take a Great Black removal spell and stick to the color very heavily. Pick number 4. Can we go mono black? We get the one mono black card in the set, the triple black spell of Archenemy's Charm. It's a flexible card. Usually you're just going to exile a creature planeswalker with this, but you can use it as a combat trick, gain a bunch of life, and keep permanent +1/+1 counters on the board, or you can use it to pick up 2 of your creatures from grave later. I think with a start like this, absolutely a reasonable pick to take Archenemy's Charm. Worst case scenario, we can go for like a 10-7 split, be 10 Swamps Deep and like 7 Mountains in a black-red deck or something like that. But if I can stick to mono black, that would be a pretty cool thing here, and we've got really powerful reasons to try to do that with 3 black spells. So let's grab Hole Carver off this one, which has been really reasonable overall. There are some massive late game Spacecraft and big green creatures that can show up to Death Touch away. Pick number 6. I have been very impressed by Nebula Dragon. That could absolutely be worth hopping into a second color for now. But I think these black creatures are fine as well. And they let us do the goofy, stupid nonsense of trying to be full mono-colored. Let's get the Swarm color here over the Comet Crawler. I think they're both just like fine filler overall. So I'll just take one at a mana cost I don't have yet. Pick 7 Monoist and another Hole Carver. I think both of these are fine. I'll take the Monoist though. It's got a good death trigger, so that's the kind of card we want to have with the alien name. There's another Comet Crawler. Pick 8 Bombard though. Sure, I'll speculate on red as the secondary color with how late that Bombard went. There's also Nebula Dragon here, and I don't think Dark Endurance is particularly exciting. So if we can't quite make it to 23 black spells, we'll play a little bit of red here, do some Rakdos stuff. But if I can make it to 23 good black spells, I should say, then I'll try to do that. I feel like Team Leader is significantly better than the black spell out of that pack as well. So I'm still going to lean much heavier on black, but if there is a significantly better red spell, I'll start taking that. And there were in those last few packs. What is this? 3 mana, 4/3, flying. You have to station 6 power into it, though. When it enters, it deals damage equal to the number of artifacts controlled to a creature. Oh my god. So it's a removal spell plus a creature, but you have to station 6 power into it. This actually seems pretty strong. But you know, a Grav Kill is a Grav Kill and sticks to mono black. But red-black is one of the artifact decks There's a lot of black and red artifact creatures available to make the gunship pretty strong, potentially. Gravkill is more consistent and gives us the chance of full mono blacks. We'll take that there, though. Pick 2 filler black spells and filler red spells, honestly. I mean, the Brunter is a good late game play. It guarantees that you're drawing non-land cards every time you play a land. Oh. Maybe I should just take in the red rare here. Definitely if I were trying to win, if this was like Arena Open Day 2 draft, I absolutely would have taken the red rare. Yeah, I mean, these black spells are so filler, once again, that it's not even like fun stuff for the mono black deck, so take the red creature there. Now I have Gravkiller Circuit Feeder. I will definitely take over Bombard. If we end up in mono black, I have like 1 artifact for that deck. Circuit Feeder would be a great addition to a black-red artifact deck after taking that red rare, but Gravkill is probably better for a full mono black on just 1 artifact right now. I mean, it is -0, -1 at worst. With just a single artifact on the board, -2? It's kind of big. It's a cooler card. I'll still take the Circuit Feeder. Pick 4. Skittermaw, I suppose. Moxite seems decent. Turbo Drone, pretty filler. Discard a card, draw 2, and you could sack this and get a 2/2 later. That seems super fine. Just take the black spell here, though. Because it's not, like, great, it's just fine. The off-color card there, the red card. Gotta trigger Void for this, but if you do, Surveil 1, draw 2 for 2 mana is very good. Take Chrome Companion to fill out the deck with random colorless creatures. War Rager's probably better, but even in our black-red deck, I don't think we're that good at triggering it in the first place, so it's not significantly better for this deck. My oh my, has Rakdos seemed wildly open. Dang it. In my pursuit to play mono-colored stuff that you don't get to do very often, in my pursuit to do fun things, I passed up on even more fun things. Like that great red artifact rare that was definitely... didn't pan out how I wanted it to. Now we don't get to do the most fun version of a deck we could have drafted, or the strongest version. I was going to be like, well, if I'm passing up on the most powerful deck I could draft here, that's fine, as long as I still end up with the funnest deck. There were enough mediocre, just unexciting black spells in that pack that just a better Rakdos deck would be more fun than the mono black anyway, and I'm going to have to play the red regardless. So, the worst of both worlds punished for my goofy hubris. Could have had a really good Rakdos deck, but we're still going to have a solid one here. We'll take the Orbital Plunge out of this pack for removal plus a lander. Take a vote out here. Depressurize I've been pretty impressed by, though. Triple Swarm Color is a lot. Those are going to be some of our first cuts, trying to play some more 2-mana creatures, ideally. Get a lot of those to trade off with early for our Osteoharmonist. With an Actuator in the deck, there actually might have been an argument to take that 2-mana removal spell over Vote Out. Just to have something to maybe recast with it. I don't know that we're going to get to enough spells for it at this rate. It's going to draw you a new hand every time. Tap 2 or more creatures. Because by the time you're playing this, you probably don't have too many cards in your hand, so discard your hand is not the biggest downside. Just draw 2 every turn you trigger. It's quite good. I'm going to take Trooper here. This is a really filler 2-mana creature. The only sacrificing we're doing is lander tokens right now. Just a few of those. I'd rather take another orbital plunge or even the Bruntar. I don't think we want double Bruntar though. Yeah, this is absolutely a Rakdos draft pod. There's the Interceptor Mechan, which I will take over a solid 2-drop. There's a Crav kill still. Now we'll take the Prospector. 2-mana creature into our deck. This Memorial team leader is actually looking a little weak because we're going to be on a pretty low creature count in the end. Which does make the Osteomancer look a bit weak too. But it's one of the cooler cards. So I'd like to not cut it. I'm just going to cut Bombard at this point. So we're cutting... We're at 31 non-land cards. We want to be at 23, so we're going to cut 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the deck. Seems reasonable to me. All the orbital plunge lander tokens to help get the third black source. I don't think this is a bad Litho-Breaking deck. I'm a little interested in trying to fit that in here. Because if our opponent's deck is really aggressive, that'll be great against their cheap stuff. And if it isn't, it still does something. It still gets a lander token. What if we're like the rudest control deck ever? Could we ever end up in a position where I've just played like a board wipe and a bunch of removal, but I don't have enough threats that I'm just looping removal spells with Chrome Companion? Probably not. But that sounds so evil that I think I still want to give myself the chance. I don't know if I'll have enough creatures for Trooper. I don't have any Spacecraft to tap things without attacking, which makes that more awkward. I think I'm supposed to cut this Chrome Companion. Trooper and Companion here. But I also think that Chrome Companion would be funny. Let me drop the Litho-Breaking. I've got a lot of cheap removal and one big board wipe still. We'll do these two. Keep the Companion. Rakdos, very low creature count, super controlling, board wipe, and a bunch of removal of the deck. We'll see how it plays out as we hop into the gameplay. Alright, we are on the play for game number 1. We got a turn 1 Hole Carver, turn 3 Skittermaw. And we're chilling. Both of our colors, a little bit of interaction. Playing against a red deck. They're on red-white. Zookeeper Mechan's gonna ramp them up. They ramp into a Wedgelight Rammer, which helps station itself with that 2/2. Eventually becomes a 3/4 flying first strike. Okay. If I vote somebody out, I get a counter on the Skittermaw. I don't mind voting out the Manadork here. Slow them down from playing anything too big, too fast. If I had anything else to cast that turn, any random creature, I'd probably play it, but with nothing else I could even spend my mana on, I think it was worth it. Unfortunately, we are flooding, and we have nothing to play. Turn 5. There's Wormwall Sweeper. Surveil 2. And then there's a Banishing Light for the Skittermaw. So they're pretty free to, yeah, just full station the Sweeper. And now I can Circuit Feeder the Sweeper. I've got a 4/4 flyer to beat down with. If they spend removal in the Circuit Feeder, and they run out of removal by the time we play Bruntar, that's going to be a card draw engine to win us this game. Oh, Jesus! Sammy Ship's Engineer shows up. That card is incredible with any Spacecraft on the board, because it allows them to tap 2 of their creatures without attacking, to then make sure they're getting another 2/2 every single turn. That is really, really rough. Do I have any 1-mana plays left in this deck? I have 1 Slag Drill Scrapper, which I think is completely irrelevant. So I'd rather just keep all these lands than play 1 right now. Get as many Bruntar triggers as possible throughout this game. Okay, now they get to Surveil every time they tap the Starfighter Pilot. So that'll definitely keep getting tapped to work with Sammy's ability. They have fully stationed the Rammer. And they pass. Let's see what Bruntar finds us. An Orbital Plunge. Not bad. As much as I want to kill Sammy, I think we're in a position to kill the Flyer instead. 2-turn kill this way. And they have 1 draw step to find a way to get rid of the Circuit Feeder. I'm going to keep this Lander token, because if I crack it right now, then I can only play a 1-mana spell off Bruntar. But say I play this land and find like a 1-drop, I could crack this and still try to play something else. They did find the removal for Circuit Feeder at the absolute last possible moment to not die. So that's rough. They have like a Void Deal 4 or something crazy? I don't think there is one. Alright, so land, see what Bruntar does. Finds a 2-mana place. If I find something with worth 4 or less off of the Lander token, I can cast it. We have 1 7-mana spell. Everything else in the whole deck is 4 or less at this point. Okay, we have 2 7-mana spells. We have Nebula Dragon and 0-point Ballad, although I would cast 0-point Ballad for 2 on this board. So yeah, the only card I could hit that would fail is Nebula Dragon. So we do this. Oh, I forgot about triple black. I could have tapped that better. Okay, we had 2 cards that could fail. Nebula Dragon, and then if I tap wrong, the triple black spell. Well, there's their Bruntar. Oh, that's such a shame. Our opponent has a chance now. Still not a great chance, but if I had the mana to cast the Charm, if I had held triple black up, so triple black and a single red would be what I needed to hold up there. Our opponent would have no shot here. So that was a pretty big miss. I want to make sure that they only have 1 tapped creature here for Sammy. When I crack the Lander, I guarantee Void. Okay, Grafkill's huge. Grafkill is huge and it's Void. I've already exiled the triple black card forever, so now we have even mana up is what we want. Cool. This isn't technically a forced block, but they probably should jump. Nope, they're going to go to 1. And here's a flyer and we pass. Alright, that was certainly closer than we needed to be. Definitely punting with the mana spent. I'll have to keep that in mind. But we do get the victory in the end for 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, here we are for game 2 on the draw. I have turn 2 Chrome Companion. I also have Hymn of the Faller to surveil 1, draw 1 looking for red. A lot more black spells than red spells in this deck. I think I can actually keep this on the draw. Probably not on the play. Naturally find the red source. We're against green-white, which is theoretically like a +1/+1 counter strategy. But a lot of decks so far in this set seems like they can just devolve into just a bunch of good cards, period. That is the case so far. This card is exceptional. 3 mana, 3/3 plus lander token. I do really need to not miss land drops. But I can't trigger Void right now, and that 3/3 body is threatening enough. My hand is almost all removal. I think I'm gonna vote out the Wayfarer. They just crack the lander this next turn. It's a tap ability. Put a card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Doesn't do it. Plunge is a sorcery, but I can hold up the charm as an instance. Oh my god. The never used mode is used. Beef the companion and keep a threat on the board because it's going to be a long time till I play another threat. And I have 2 other removal spells in this hand later. Oh, this card is bonkers good. So they draw a card and then cast something else for free this turn, and then when they play it, they draw another card and cast another card for free. Oh no, when it leaves the battlefield on a future turn, they draw another card and cast another one for free. Okay, our opponent's gonna take the plunge here. A land would be absolutely gorgeous. Then I could play the Monoist and crack the lander and know that I'm playing 6 drops the turn after that. Banishing Light, my buddy. Evil. How could you banish a doggo like that? I'm just gonna void and cast the Hymn here. Take a bit of a hit, but we're at 27, so we definitely can. That's a painful surveil. I'm drawing 2 cards right now and a 3rd next turn. If none of those 3 cards are lands, it's really bad for me to keep the 7 drop. I don't think I can, because I need to land the next 2 cards that I don't know of. Yeah, it's too gambly. Well, we found the land. Down to 23. And there's the Vestige. It's a 7/5, so I really need to kill it, but when I do kill it, they draw a card and play another card for free. Okay, well now I'm really, really, really glad I played towards trying to draw more mana, because now I need 7. So I want to kill the Vestige before I cast the board wipe, so we are... Could go Monoist and vote out the Vestige, or I could just go Grav kill it on their turn when they go to attacks. Probably just Grav kill when they go to attacks. Try to warp the Vestige for absolute nonsense. Yeah, let's not let them draw 5 million cards. Just get rid of it permanently. I don't care about reanimating anything. I could just board wipe for 3. But if I hit the mana anyway, I might as well reanimate the Wayfarer here, right? Yeah. Although this does make their Fates thing play pretty well. If I kill the Stalker, then they get the Wayfarer back to their board later. Pretty cute little bounce around thing going on here. Ooh, extra cute. I think we orbital plunge here. I need 2 other artifacts on the board to make Circuit Feeder particularly good. I mean, I guess I could just Circuit Feeder the Savior. And then let's plunge to kill everybody else. That works too. And then if they Stalker the Circuit Feeder, that's really bad for them. So I can plunge the Stalker, get another artifact, and then Feeder comes back and does -3. Yeah, so they Diplomatic Relations instead. Can't really play Bruntar until this Stalker is gone. Let's go plunge Monoist. Possible counter on this and draw a card. That's a really good double speller. Start cracking landers here. At some point they have to stop drawing gas. At some point. is not great. I'm gonna Bruntar, and then I'm gonna need to be able to play 4 drops off of it. So it's Gravkill, Crack the Lander. I have 9 lands on this board. And then I play Bruntar. This is the 10th land, and I have my 4 mana up to cast any spell I hit in the whole deck. I believe that is the play. Kill that before it's equipped with anything to where I can't kill it. Ooh, are they flooding? That's so good for me. If so... They found a clump. They found a land clump. Let's go. I do not have the triple black spell left in the deck, so I can play Mountain here. There's my Skeleton Maker with a loaded graveyard. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3 is not that loaded, but it is more than enough. There's a concession from our opponent. They did not find removal, and they would have to kill both of these to have a chance now. This draws me a card every turn, just landfalling. It guarantees spells every turn. And then this gets a creature out every turn, so if they could only kill one of the 2, we're still winning that game. I mean, I said it like 2 turns ago. I was like, eventually they have to stop drawing spells, and then they did stop drawing spells, and that got us what we needed to win there. To be fair, we drew a pretty good spell to land ratio as well. We only have probably the same number of lands as them, right? We each used a land or token or 2 there. Yeah, pretty even. But we hit our great rares. Really the premium uncommon as well. Might have been an easier victory if I held on to 0 Point Ballad longer, but obviously take a big beating to do that. Could have been a little preemptive, but did work out in the end for us, and that is going to be 2-0 heading into game 3. Some pretty long ones so far. All right, here we are on game 3. On the draw with nothing to play till turn 3, and luckily not punished for it. Our opponent does not have a 2-drop. They're going to start with their own Skittermaw. Start with the Flyer. It plays better against removal than the Skittermaw does. Swarm Color. They play a beefier Flyer than me? It's not nice. I gotta plunge that thing. It's a really good plunge for us, though. It gives us an artifact on board for our Circuit Feeder to give -2/-2 later. They don't get a Void trigger. If I play this Harmonist, they're going to removal spell it and get a Void trigger, most likely. I kind of want to play Skittermaw instead. It's still a relevant threat. It's not like the Osteo Harmonist does anything yet anyway. And they're less likely to go voiding off of it. I don't think I'm just going to Archenemy's Charm here. Exile the Heavy. I guess I could. It's the only thing I have that can deal with a 4 toughness creature currently. And then I go to my turn, I go land, and then I Circuit Feeder the Skittermaw. Although if I cast Archmage's Charm, that also triggers Skittermaw's end step Void. At least playing Skittermaw, we forced them to do something to trigger their Void. Alright, nice. A Plasma Bolt that now does not get to kill Osteo Harmonist. However, the problem we have with this is now we don't get to kill Skittermaw with Circuit Feeder. which has immediately made things sketchy. I just have to exile the Skittermaw instead at this point. Need the triple black up, and then the Monoist doesn't block anything well. Yeah, because if I exile the heavy, then this is now a 4/4 menace. Okay. You have a trick with that? No, they're just warping it to warp it. Thank goodness. That's 3 artifacts. One artifact away from killing the heavy. This doesn't turn them into artifact skeletons. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna get so Thera bombed. If I ever kill one of their creatures, my stuff gets exiled. That is no artifact, but I guess I don't want to kill their creature right now anyway. We jam. Go, team, go. Win this race. I'm begging you. Dang, if they top decked a land, they were dead on board. If they top decked a creature on the ground, they were dead on board too. Wow, we really... I guess not we, they really hit on that draw step. We had exact lethal in the sky. Rough. And we gotta pass now. But yeah, that was just straight up perfect. Top deck from our opponent. Not the 2 for 2 on them. Anything that cares about having this artifact on my board? If I draw a Territorial Bruntar, then having this lander around could be relevant. Also, my Void draw spell, Hymn of the Faller. Yeah, I have a couple cards that I want to keep this around for. One land away from their 9/9 now. Look who it is. Naughty boy. Death Touch trade isn't even that good for me because they have Sothera down. So I'm just going to keep these all out for the go wide lethal next turn. Probably even if they hit the land thanks to the Bruntar double trigger this turn. Like either I double trigger Bruntar by top decking a land, or I draw a spell and then I can play that spell plus land or token trigger Bruntar. Invasive Maneuvers the Death Toucher. Get their Void trigger. Nebula Dragon, that's just lethal, isn't it? I can attack all, they block the 6 and the 5, they take 6. I don't even need the Nebula Dragon, actually. Alright. Yeah, turns out Bruntar just being beef is enough. Don't even need to use its ability, and that is 3-0, I believe. Heading into game number 4. These have been some pretty long games for Rakdos, but obviously a pretty slow, grindy Rakdos build here. Alright, here we are on the draw for game number 4. This hand could absolutely just get demolished by anything even remotely aggressive, because obviously we'd like to wait till turn 7 for the board wipe, and we've got one swamp in the opener, drew a third mountain as our first draw, when we really need more swamps for this Archenemy's Charm to be played as early removal. So we just have one early draw spell, one removal spell, and we pray that those last us long enough to get us to the 0-point ballad. I think the card quality in the hand, despite not being able to cast them right now, between these two cards is high enough that I kind of have to keep this and hope for the best. And so far, so good. Obviously, our opponent's like not in a terrible spot. They've got really good mana. They've got a 3/3 to start beating with, but we're not under too much pressure to deal with right now. Probably have to just surveil one, draw one, and be mana efficient from this point on. Cast a spell every single turn to not fall too far behind. You know, alternatively, Chump plus Crack a Lander would not have been that bad there. Oh man, Trample? Well, it's not Chumping there then. They have first strike on attacks, so I might as well send here. My Chump isn't going to do anything. Might have to lifelink mode and Archenemy's Charm just to have enough life for the 0-point ballad in the future, because they're going to have first strike trample stuff for like the rest of this game. They are down to like 3 more potential creatures here. So there's also a chance that I just play enough 1/1 removal to try to get ahead on board that way and just don't even ballad, because I'll just be too low on life by then. Just fully station the Scoutlander here. Yep. Lifelink till end of turn. This thing has 3 power naturally. I could ballad for 4 and wipe the whole board without a reanimate. I ideally want 7 mana up next turn. Is there any way to do that? If I vote out and Crack a Lander, I can do that. So now I have the option of 0-point balloting for 7 mana next turn. X equals 6, lose 6, but reanimates the Fate Maker probably to our board. I would be at literally 1 life if I chose to do that. Dead to the red burn spell. I don't think I can do that here. Because I'm dead to the Signpost uncommon for green-red that deals 1 to me every time they play a land. I'm also dead to the 1 red mana common that deals 2 to a player. I think I have to just ballad for 3. And not reanimate somebody. I only have one creature in grave. I'm not charming one back. Bruntar. Can plunge that, but I don't get the lander token off it anyway. Just charm it right now. Get to play the mech in this turn now. Although I'll play the Scrapper so I can void trigger the Mechan. Get a counter. This is what we like to see. Void doesn't count our lands, it's only non-land cards. So I'm probably not triggering Void here. I want to keep Prospector for damage. I'm in a top deck in position, but I have a bunch of ways to accrue value. And they've just hit Flood. They really flooded, wow. Still not lethal. It's our last draw step now. Little Death Toucher, they're still dead on board. And that's game. That is... Jeez, it's like 5-0 now, I think? Again, they've been some long games of Magic, so... It's felt like we played more games than we have each time. Grindy set. Lots of top deck wars. Yeah, we're only 4-0 still at pretty much the 1 hour mark of the draft. We got into the gameplay like 16 minutes into this video. Long stuff here, but undefeated stuff, so we'll take them. 4-0 heading into Game 5. Game 5 on the play, all removal all day. Turn 3 Skittermaw. Just clear everything out and keep making it bigger, hopefully. Great draw. We hit a 2 drop on curve. Our opponent does not have any blockers yet. So we are going to be pushing damage against a green deck. Kill everything they play and jam. Wayfarer is a great card, though. They still get their lander token of value if I kill it, but I'm still definitely going to kill it and get my own lander. Buff my Skittermaw 2 turns in a row. One off of the Orbital Plunge, and then the next buff off of stacking that lander token. So they get their white source and pass. Archenemy's Charm if I need it. It's better to just crack the lander right now. They're already down to 9. Another Wayfarer. One damage off from lethal, but at least I can hold up the charm. This is unfortunately 2 +1/+1 counters and not 3. And this is 4 mana, so I couldn't have played both of these together. I can only do the Convoked Vote Out plus Archenemy's Charm. There were a lot of different ways I was really close to lethal that turn. Exile board wipe. Jesus. If it were a destroy board wipe, we're still so in this game, but I think we just scoop to that one spell. That's rough. Get a taste of our own medicine with the board wipe, but the depressing part is I'm pretty sure we could have beaten our board wipe. Actually, I'm 100% confident we could have. They didn't have enough life to even cast it at this point. It's going to be one of those grueling losses, too. They're like way behind on cards now, but also they don't have any threats still. So we have to wait a million turns to actually die. On the bright side, that means if we draw our 6/6 that draws a card every time we play a land, we do still have a chance. And every creature that we cast is basically one-shot lethal, so they do have to have a removal spell for everybody we play. There's no shot none of those 5 cards are interaction for Pangolin. Like, if any of those are creatures, they just would have played that. If they didn't have the interaction there, yeah. We are slowly running them out. We've got a 2-for-1. Just got a 2-for-1 with the Mechan, and then the Charm can pick up the Mechan for another 2-for-1. If they put this Pangolin in our grave. Beautiful. Okay, same difference. I do think it is better to pick up both these creatures than it is to exile Stalker. I guess I just don't have anything in my grave for the Mechan, though. If I pick up Pangolin and Mechan. Get a Void trigger this turn, though, so it's 2 3/3s. Instead of Charm the Stalker and I have 1/2/1. Yeah, I mean, that's just better. If I had just like one more card in my grave, that'd have been so good, though. But again, their board wipe was all exile. large, so large. If I don't block here, I think my list of outs is smaller than if I do. Because we haven't drawn our own board wipe this game. If I chump block and then I draw that, that can win. But if I don't chump block and then I draw it, then I just lose, period. I think our only two outs are the Grav kill to exile the kill ship and the 0-point ballad. And if I don't block here, then 0-point ballad is not an out. I guess Bruntar. If I don't block, then I could hit Bruntar and go for a double block later. Three unknown cards over there. Don't even know if the double block's gonna work. I think I have to chump. Not gonna matter regardless, it looks like. Yep, so either way we play it ends us with this exact same board state at this point. I would have been forced to chump. Frustrating game, because it is one of those games that was essentially lost like 10, maybe even like 15 turns ago at that point, when they cast the exile everything board wipe, but you gotta play it out, hope for that chance. We hit some good draws early, it made it look like a possibility, but because we got all our good draws early, we hit a bad clump late, and couldn't do anything there. That is 4-1 heading into game number 6. Alright, here we are for game 6. We have the strongest card in our deck, the 0-point ballad. But our opponent is very aggressive. They start with a 1/1 flyer on turn 1. A rare sight, a 1-drop. Probably have to him just for 1 card, which is always sad. Definitely take a mech in here. Infiltrator. Scary card. If they double spell, they get unblockability and guarantee they draw cards. Zero-point ballad is toughness based, so I can't even kill the Infiltrator with it till I have 4 mana total. Getting pretty punished for being on the draw this game. We had 3 different ways we could kill the Infiltrator before it attacks once, if we were on the play. Okay. Probably get counterspelled here. So play one of the sorcery speed removal spells. There are some random like 7-10 toughness vehicles, so I think I still just want to keep vote out for later. Even if they do just counter. If they don't counter, then Orbital Plunge is definitely the best one to play. So we get our Lander token for later as well. Code transmissions, draw 2, lose 2. Down to 15. Scrapper seems pretty fine here. We can Scrapper, get a Void trigger. This looks like a control mirror match where we just kind of want to play around board wipes right now. As long as they're letting me keep my scariest threat, like, we're chilling. And if they kill it with something that doesn't exile it, then obviously that's when we'll drop the Mechan down. Oh, bounce it back with Freighter. That's annoying. Get rid of all of its counters. And nothing engraved still. Just play a few idiots. Thanks to the Mechan being like our backup in hand, it's pretty hard to overcommit into a board wipe with this hand. If they have their own ballad. Tap Skittermaw, draw a card. Injectory it, yep. Oh wow. They reanimate one of our creatures against us every single turn, and whatever they reanimate they get to keep on the board, which is pretty annoying. Probably kill the Scrapper here. No, they let us keep the Scrapper. Take that. Kinda don't want to sack lands with this hand. So I guess I poke for one. If one of their last two cards is Ballad or the blue-black board wipe, I think we're still ahead. Even playing all these creatures, so I'm just going to get them all down. Ooh, that's halfway to the freighter station. That is threatening. That Mechanizoa. Draw a castable spell here. Still ahead through a board wipe if I play this companion? Honestly, I think so. I definitely haven't had one yet. It'd have to be a top deck. Okay. Yeah, we're still ahead. I guess it depends what they milled. If they milled basically all spells. They basically milled they milled 2 lands and like 10 spells. Oh my god, I have almost like no spells to draw now. Okay, well, never mind, that's actually quite bad. I mean, what was the not play creatures outplay? Just have a single Skittermaw left over post-wipe? Take 4, go to 9, then I can still ballad them. My ballad kills Freighter and Skittermaw, and then I get a Skittermaw to my board. Not a particularly good ballad, but that's what I've got here. If I grab kill... Oh shoot, that thing mills me every time it attacks? I've never seen that text before in my life. That's relevant. Hey, they hit... Aw. They hit almost all my lands. Okay, well now I'm almost certain we can't win. With another mill forward, but I guess we'll see. Maybe they'll have a counterspell too. After all that. Skittermaw kills them in 3 hits. I have 5 cards. 5 turns to do it. Double Cryologist. Take the damage. Grav kill 1 to make it a 4/4. If they top deck a land, I chump and then I have a lethal counterattack for 6 here. If they top deck removal, they do kill me, but this is definitely the play. They're quite dead to hitting a land. But if it's a creature, that's kind of bad. Still not immediately dead. Oh, that's so huge! That's lethal! Oh my god! Still get there. What an insane game of Magic. That'll bring us to 5-1 now in the money, wherever this draft goes from here. Alright, here we are on the play for game 7. This is a fine one. Actually have a 2-drop and a 3-drop curve. It's not happened often for this deck. Kill it. Aw. Wanted the removal spell out when I went to combat for a void trigger. Wayfarer, we'll plunge that for our own void trigger. This is an interesting scenario. I'm gonna Grav kill it, and this might be greedy, but the idea is if they play another card with 5 or less toughness to where I'll get the lander off of this, I can use this to kill something else and get a counter on Pangolin. The reason it's greedy is they are a green deck. They could ramp into something that's just way too big to kill anyway. Okay, looks like I'm not gonna plunge because Nebula Dragon's big enough to kill Wayfarer. So I could just offer the trade instead. And the trade is fine. It buffs the Skittermaw and gets that out of the way. And if they don't trade, that's also fine. So we work our way towards Nebula Dragon. Cool. Now I can keep the plunge for something bigger. And then a 3/3. Skittermaw's a goner. Tragedy. That is exactly the wrong mana cost. It's our only... No, we had 2 6-drops. That was one of 2 cards in the deck that cost more than 4. Gosh darn it, Circuit Feeder. Yeah, that was a really bad draw. Oh, good lord. They get 2 1/1s every single turn? Yeesh. Hit for 3. Wait, no? Oh, it doesn't even happen if there aren't 2 targets on the board? That's so awkward. I don't get to have one of my creatures get +2/+0 if there's no creature on the other board. Oh my god, they're double strike. They get 2 1/1s with double strike and haste every turn, and this card's colorless. You can put it in literally anything. Wow. Well, I think I'm dead, but we'll see. I have a chance of maybe outracing them with flyers, but probably not. 6/1/1 double strikers next turn? That is ridiculous. It's 8 damage already. You have any combat trinkets? 1,000,000. Yeah, there's no shot. Even if I hit the board wipe, it doesn't do anything about the hive pool. Like, I'm thinking about keeping Mono S to try to get the, like, if I hit a land, Dragon lethal, but they kill me before that. Because I'd have to hit them, put them to 7, then I play Dragon, they go to 4. This can kill them in one shot, then I can chump once, but this isn't gonna, like, lose Summoning Sickness by the time I die. Getting another, they get another swing in. 2 blockers up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers minimum. All of them for 2 damage apiece. That's just not happening. I don't think there's anything I can draw here that matters. Oh, this doesn't sack creatures? Oh, I should have blocked the Hound then. Again, not that it really matters. I don't think we have any outs to this thing. Because again, the board wipe doesn't do it. And we get double bombed. Nice. Alright, well. Bomb Rare's gonna Bomb Rare. We're 5-2, heading into game number 8. Now we got a little of our own Bomb Rare medicine. Very different Bomb Rare. Kind of the exact opposite of a board wipe. A token producer, spitting out double striking Hastings slivers every turn, versus a board clearer. Alright, here we are for game number 8. We have a 1-drop, we have a 3-drop if we hit any land. Some removal spells to play around with. A little bit of everything for an opener. Biggest risk here is if I draw nothing but spells. It is a 2-lander. So far, so bad on that. We have hit another spell. It's operative. Okay. Arena has been very sketchy today. I'm recording this on the day of release. And Edge of Eternity drafts were down for like 4 hours of my recording session, so it's kind of ruined my YouTube schedule this week. I'm going to have to record some days after work, which is rough. And apparently there's still more going on. But that's fine, because this is the last draft I can record today. Because of how late they put the drafts up in the first place. And it looks like this may be the last game of Magic for today. Because, yeah, I mean, we are just missing every single land drop. Our opponent has not missed any. They've cast a spell every single turn so far. Operative into Cryo Shatter into Unravel. Now a Vocalist to double up their triggers. And Harmonicon, give them an extra card draw of the Relic. And the double spell for Operative. That gets the land draw for them. We do find a swamp, but likely too late with how efficient our opponent's hand has been so far. Might have been better to just vote out the operative there instead of play Monoist. They've only had to play 1 removal spell so far, so this is probably dead. But at least this dies into a creature for us. And it did die into a creature here. Code transmissions, draw another 2, make me lose 2. Give them more card draw for Endless Gas. I forgot the Cryo Shatter destroys the creature when I tap it. So I should have just convoked with the robot and kept that for a chump block later. But I didn't realize it was going to die when I convoked with it. Still day 1 of the format. There's a lot of, like, weird little bonus lines of text that can be really easy to miss in this set. That Crawler's going to jam me for 4 with lifelink, but if they have any other enter effect, the Vocalist is going to demolish me. Crawler's only 1 more damage than Vocalist is, and doesn't have a relevant ability outside of combat. Reanimate my own creatures against me and keep them permanently. Okay, I'm just dead to that. Because they come out tapped and attacking. That's lethal on board. Is it not? Oh, I only had a 2-power creature. I guess it's 1 damage off. But this game is so over. The draws were weighted heavily against us. Sure. Alright. 5 and 3 will be the final record for this deck. I think this was a pretty solid one. I think this could have done a little bit better with a bit better luck. Could have done worse with worse luck. Probably right in the middle of where this deck lands on average. We had some really powerful stuff from our rares, particularly the 0-point ballad has been exceptional in the vast majority of the games that I've drawn it. Obviously, it wasn't very good in that last game of Magic. If you top deck it when you've already been beaten down to less than 6 life, it's not going to do anything for you. You're just still going to die. But any game where you're at a hefty life total, this can completely flip the game in your favor. So that card was completely absurd. We obviously got some wins off of that. I never got to use the Osteoharmonist, which is a little sad, but that does mean it kind of also did its job in terms of being a card that is so threatening that if they don't remove it, they're going to die. It just did get removed every time. So we never got to show off that that card does win the game when not killed, because it was killed every time. Archenemy's Charm, not quite as powerful as these other two on average, I would say. You know, it's just like another removal spell, but a little bit more flexible. The mana cost is pretty restrictive, though, to balance that out to where the card, I think, is overall just solid, like these removal spells are. So I guess not actually the bombiest deck in the universe when you look at it like this. But our Territorial Bruntar, I mean, that. Just, please move. Okay, that, even just as an uncommon, was also kind of bombing things out. In terms of, like, taking over the late game, you get into a top deck war decently often in this format, and this card is very good in a top deck war. You're guaranteed to be hitting gas, because any turn you draw a spell, then okay, you drew a spell, you can play that. If you don't draw a spell, this guarantees your land draw counts as hitting that next non-land play from your deck. So Bruntar was awesome. Mechan was awesome, 2-for-1 Gravedigger style effect. Dragon was awesome. Honestly, I feel like I might be like overvaluing mana curves and aggressiveness in this format. Like, just the Pangolin Companion, even the Prospectors, and Monoist felt like kind of the biggest underperformers. If it was just random, more good, like 3 and 4 mana value stuff, it might be a better deck. These felt like the most fillery stuff in the deck. Like, I feel like most formats, you do need a good chunk of cheap stuff to make sure you're not dying to aggro, but I don't know how much these cards really helped overall. So those are probably some of the bigger underperformers as well, but I don't know. Solid draft here, solid run regardless. 5 and 3 will be the record today for 1,600 gems out of this event. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm, send some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.